Welcome everyone, I'm Nate and I invite you to explore life with me today. In the last episode, which was also the first episode on this channel, I went rock hounding in a nearby lot and I actually found some pretty cool rocks, so I recommend checking that that episode out if you haven't seen it. Today, it's a beautiful day in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's currently 77 degrees out, and for October, I think we're on October 5th, I believe. That's really cool. It seems we've been, I gotta get used to this still. I hold in too much oxygen, too much breath. Anyway, it seems as though we've been blessed with a very short summer this year, so that's pretty freaking awesome. It is just a gorgeous day, so I figured today, what I'll be doing is getting out, getting some exercise, and climbing up a peak. I guess it's kind of more like a hill, but it's called Exploration Peak over here in southwest Las Vegas. So we'll be climbing that today. Didn't want to let this beautiful day go to waste. I've got my handy dandy little Kirkland Signature walking shoes, which actually some of the best shoes I've ever owned, honestly. Super comfortable. I have taken them on many a hiking and rock hounding trip, and they're still holding in there pretty well, and I got them for under $10 a pair. I bought 4 pairs because I was like, this is a crazy freaking deal. So I bought 4 pairs, and this is still my first one. Granted, there's, a sunblock stain on it from a bit ago, but that's beside the point. But yeah, so we'll be climbing the peak today, and I'll get some footage of that, and yeah, it should be pretty awesome. Here's right there. It's probably about, I don't know, 200 feet tall, something like that. I often try to climb it as fast as I can, just for the cardio and everything. But yeah, let's climb up that hill. And sorry that I don't have a selfie stick. I never was into selfies, but let's get going. All right, the rock hound in me, the rock fanatic, cannot pass this up. On the way, I just found a very quite colorful, I guess I can't really say agate because it doesn't have bands, but it's translucent chalcedony. So actually it does have bands. So yeah, we can call this an agate. It's got little red bands in there. That's a beautiful piece. Then again though, it does have some fracture lines going through it, but I still think it's pretty nice. Yoink! Got an awesome little, I don't even know what you would call this place. Just a building. Pretty nice. Down here there's a little bit of a wash that tends to get flooded when it rains. There's a little storm drain over there that funnels water through from the upper part of the city. Bunch of beautiful pepper trees over here. These are all irrigated, all the trees down here on the bottom. So this is a maintained place. They maintain the trails and that, yeah, I guess the footpaths. And we've begun our ascent. There are several paths to choose from. I always take this pretty steep one because I'm kind of a quick to the point kind of guy. Wow. Looks like a foxhole or something. That's pretty big. Occasionally, you'll see some wildlife up here, although the only thing I've really seen is a lizard once. It's a very heavily traveled area, so wildlife tends to stay away. Actually, there are a bunch of bunnies that live at the bottom as well. Up there you can see there's a bit of a small cave. I did check it out before. It's nothing special, really. Whew. A little, almost looked like a robin. Just flew away from the little picnic area here. But here is the view from the first plateau. About halfway up the hill here. There's Mountain's Edge Park. Quite a nice park, actually. They have farmers markets there occasionally. Over there, you have Red Rock, straight ahead. Red Rock Canyon runs all the way from this street right here, this main street on the right, which is Blue Diamond, up and around, oops, sorry, big old thermos is in the way, up and around those little shorter mountains you see over there, and empties out, let me set this down, empties out way over there next to that reddish building. That is Red Rock Casino. So it's a pretty big loop, and it's actually a really beautiful drive. I'm gonna have to take you guys on that drive someday, sooner or later. Red Rock is actually my favorite place to be in Las Vegas. It's a great day to be at the park. Oftentimes it's quite windy up here on the hill. Today there's just a slight breeze. It's really nice. Just a bunch of housing over here. There's quite a bit of vacant land, which I've rock hounded a decent bit of it. And then there's a lot of development going on too. All right, let's get to the summit. It's quite a steep journey ahead. As we approach the top here, the view really starts to get quite nice. I've always been a fan of heights, ever since I was a kid. And largely because my main passion in life is human flight, or at least as close as possible as we can get. And so I've always loved heights. I've always loved anything that flies or floats or even falls remotely slower than gravity. And so I've always loved heights, but granted, a little bit less as I get older. As you know, I think we become increasingly aware of our own mortality and the dangers of everyday life and things that are not everyday life, such as climbing large hills. But regardless, I still really love the view atop high places, and I feel more at home up here than I do down below. I've always felt kind of imprisoned on the ground. I don't know why, but it's just how I am. So we're pretty much at the top now. We've got this little roundabout area up here. Oh, look, a beautiful black and yellow butterfly. Got a picnic area over there. Look at that butterfly. Majestic. Butterflies seem so rare these days. But yeah, up here in this roundabout area, you've got these placards with some really fascinating info all over them. I'm not sure that I'm going to read it all on camera, but this one details the Old Spanish Trail, which I believe passed really close to here. And in case you guys want to read all that, I will get a sort of still of the whole thing. Hopefully that captured everything. This next one talks about Red Rock Canyon, which I mentioned earlier. The Frenchman Mountain, this one's discussing, which is pretty far from here, actually. It is, I believe, I don't think it's that mountain that's close to us, but no, it might be. I think the Frenchman Mountain is the one I'm zoomed in on right now, and the Sunrise Mountain is directly to the left of that. I could be mixing that up, I'm not too sure, but that's where Frenchman Mountain is. Probably about 20 miles from here. And here is the placard about the Frenchman Mountain. And the last one is about San Pedro, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake Railroad. Very interesting. All right, now for the view up here, which is quite fantastic, honestly. I can see about 95% of what we locals consider Las Vegas, which includes Henderson. I mean, it comes down to personal opinion and preference. But over here to the left, of course, you have Red Rock. Out in the distance, there are some very, well, I don't know how old exactly, but there are abandoned or, I guess, retired mine shafts, which have been sealed so people don't go in there and get it collapsed on them. But that's where you see that really flat sort of plateau right in center screen. And of course, oh, there's the Durango Resort right there. It opened I think about a year ago, maybe a little less. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've heard it's quite nice. And then you have a golf ball. I always call those like golf ball houses. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're interesting to say the least. Hopefully you can hear me over the breeze. There's a police chopper flying around. Hopefully I've got it in camera. Mr. Butterfly again, going over there. And of course you do have the Las Vegas Strip in full view over here at the top of Exploration Peak. And then to the right of Frenchman Mountain you have, I believe that's called Black Mountain over there. I have always wanted to explore that because ever since I was a kid I've been fascinated with rocks and geology and crystals and stuff, and I thought, you know, it looks like an old volcano and I wanted to check it out. So maybe someday I'll make a video out of that going over there. But the view I prefer is the one over here, looking out over Mountain's Edge. I've never been a big fan of, you know, city and the Strip and everything. I prefer nature. I prefer just the wild, not the Wild West, but the frontier, basically. Just the mostly undisturbed desert. You never know what's out there. You never know what you're gonna find, and that's intriguing and awesome to me. That's why I love hiking and just everything that has any shred of mystery to it, such as, oops, sorry, veering into the sky there, such as space and the ocean and just wild and untamed areas in general. So out there you can see some people are doing some off-roading. That's what I would love to do. If I can get it to focus. Sorry, it's really hard to see the screen right now. The sun is so bright. So out there, the people are off-roading. I'd love to do that someday. I want to get a dirt bike or preferably a side-by-side so I can take my lovely girl, Amanda, along with me. She doesn't think she would like a dirt bike experience, and I don't think she would either. Out there to that would be the, I guess southeast, there's some sort of quarry up there that I've always been curious about since I was a kid. When I moved here in 2001, that was barely noticeable. It barely had any sort of detectable features of being a quarry. The top was just barely leveled out. Now it's quite obvious, but it's been interesting to see that come along over the years. And then of course, man, I cannot see the screen. Let me find that again real quick. Yeah, so just below that quarry, you can see the railroad going straight out over there. Sorry about the digitalization of the video here. I know it's kind of blurry, but yeah, you can see that railroad. I don't know exactly where it connects to. I do believe it goes to somewhere in California though. So anyway, that is the view from the top of Exploration Peak. Yeah, Exploration Peak. The park itself is called Exploration Peak Park, I believe. All right, well, that pretty much sums it up. And that's really why I love this area up here. It's just such a good view. And on a day like this, where we've got crystal clear blue skies and a high of 78 degrees, it's just amazing. I couldn't waste the opportunity to come out here today. And I hope you guys, switch back, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, sorry, the sun's in my eyes, bad angle. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully you'll come explore with me once again.